the emotions are driving things to your intellect, and then you're spurting out just your knowledge and your facts. Maybe you got someone to talk to about your new hobby or your new interest or whatever it is that you're learning, new skill set, and you can't help but bubble over and fill them in on all the details. Hello, this is Weird Corvid, and we're doing a reading tonight for the full moon in Aquarius. And when I say full moon in Aquarius, I mean Aquarius as in the time, like the 12 zodiacs, not how you can sometimes have the sun and the moon in different zodiacs at different times of the year. Not talking about any of that. Just full moon during January or the end, almost February. And that leads me to my next point is that I'll probably be posting this a little bit late because the full moon is 3 days. And so that would be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the economic blackout is on Friday. So I won't be posting it on the first day of the full moon like I would normally. So I will on Saturday, which is the height of the full moon anyway. So still works, but I would normally want to post it a little bit sooner. So yeah, the first thing I see in this print is that the first thing that draws my attention is sort of in the middle, right on the border of the sort of purpley blue and the sort of reddish brown, is this curved, I think it's rib bone. And it looks like there's like wispy lines, but very straight, almost like how in cartoons or anime or comic books, how they try to draw um, like fastness, like moving very fast, like the speed lines. That's sort of what I'm seeing there. And the shapes that I'm seeing on the west side of the paper, there's like a triangle crystal and stuff like that, and they all seem to be kind of like bowing or pointing towards the east, so like they're moving from the west to the east very quickly. The last print, I kind of talked about how like from the south things sort of seemed to be sort of like bubbling up. They weren't. It was calm, but there was a little bit of activity there. I still sort of see that in this print too. Maybe bubbling a little faster, but still bubbling. And there's actually like a line of shapes going up. So it definitely seems like almost like a bubbler, like in a fish tank or something like that, like an air stone. But then in the east side of the paper, at sort of where the murky yellow meets that sort of reddish brown, there is like a white splotch there, and it seems almost like those speed lines are going right sort of in that direction, as if the shapes and stuff from the west are speeding towards that side of the paper, hitting that white splotch, and then ricocheting off to the sort of northeast corner of the paper. If this is related to the other sun print at all, then I would say that whatever the emotions were driving, something new that you were learning, that was a lot of mind chatter and not really getting out into the material world of the north. And but you still had like the motivation bubbling up every time you learned something from the south. This I would see like the emotions are driving it much harder. They're much stronger emotions. They're making things go a lot faster, and then you're just sort of like spurting out like the emotions are driving things to your intellect, and then you're spurting out just your knowledge and your facts. Maybe you got someone to talk to about your new hobby or your new interest or whatever it is that you're learning, new skill set, and you can't help but bubble over and fill them in on all the details. That could possibly be what's going on. If it's not related to that, then there is some strong emotion that is moving fast towards the mind, and then spurting out into sort of like the emotional material world. Like you have someone that you're talking to. So less the material world of like tables and chairs and like creating something with your hands. I mean, it might be a skill set that you're doing some sort of physical creative stuff with, but it's more, this is sort of like more like the emotional side of it, so less so like they're not ricocheting off to the east, to I mean a little bit to the east, east north, but more like there's, it just seems to be more of a strong like angle towards the northwest, so it seems like it's much more driven by emotion, and so it's more probably like just bubbling over with, oh, this is what I'm all interested in, or whatever the strong emotion is. If it's a negative, I don't think it's a negative emotion. I keep saying it could be something else, but I don't think it is a negative motion that's like rushing towards the spot in the mind and ricocheting out, like a fight or something. It doesn't really feel like a fight type of energy. It feels like a high, especially with the bubbliness coming up from the motivation of the south. I mean, that passions and whatnot. I mean, I guess if you're pissed off at somebody, there would be some sort of passionate aspect to that. Not passionate as in like romantic passionate, but passionate as in fiery. But it still seems like a very bright, bubbly, excited type of energy. Especially because in that sort of brown, reddish, almost like a triangle near the bottom of the page, near the south. Um, there's a line. It seems like there's a chin with there's a crystal that makes it look like a mouth, and then another one that looks like a nose. And maybe this thing is wearing, I don't know, sunglasses, or it's a cyclops or something. But then the head sort of expands like a broccoli up into like a fluffy yellow hair. It seems a little bit like a face. But like the head's all like wild and crazy, sort of like not SpongeBob, what's his name from The Simpsons, Sideshow Bob, kind of like his like crazy hair, but sort of like an explosion of ideas. And that part where it's sort of that white splotch where it's sort of ricocheting off is almost, it's either on one of the eyes or like almost very close to where like the third eye might be. Anyways, it's sort of near like around the eye or forehead area, which for me that's sort of like where you think, or at least that's where I vision that you think in your own mind, if that makes any sense. And then it's like, I don't know, spurting out. It's ricocheting off. It's high energy. It seems like you maybe found somebody to share your ideas with, whether they like it or not, or whether they want it or not. I'm sure if you feel comfortable enough to like share with them like this, then I'm sure they find it endearing. For you to feel comfortable with someone to just like share like this, um, they're probably going to find it endearing. Uh, if not, they might just totally return the energy back to you, and they're totally into it as well. And maybe you're having a total synergy flow back and forth where you're sharing with each other. That would be interesting. So let's see what the cards have to say. I'm using the Halloween Oracle deck again, as well as the Messenger Oracle deck. On the west side of the paper is the two cards that are for past influences. The top card is the graveyard card, and it is in that whole like yellow tones that the yellow top of the paper is in with the dye for there. And there's a little bit of green hints in there on the east north side of the yellow blotch. And there's some like green shrubbery around the bottom of the tombstones. So sort of matching there. I guess like you could throw in a little bit of that brown there too. Not so much of that bluish purple, but under the graveyard word, it says unnecessary fears. So usually I think this card talks to like I don't know, like fears or anxieties you have that you sort of placed on yourself, and then you come to realize that there was nothing really there to fear. Like if you had like a social anxiety or something, it turns out the person that you had the social anxiety with, they were totally cool with you and easy to talk to, which might go along with this. Um, but we can see what the book says too. There's different things in the book that'll hit different with different reading. Pull this card and know that you fear unnecessarily. Things are not as they seem, and you can overcome your obstacles. The anxieties you have, although real, should be put aside before they turn the page, before they haunt you long term. Instead, trust that you know the correct next step and that you will act upon them. So yeah, if you have a little bit of like, I don't know, performance anxiety or imposter syndrome or something like that, you don't really need it. You just need to move forward, and you'll get into your flow of things once you're there. That type of idea, I think, is what the card is talking about. And these are past influences. So maybe this is that social anxiety thing, and now you've gotten past it and you have that person to share with. Or maybe you started that project and you're like putting all your energy like very bubbly into that project, and sharing with people what you're doing as you're going along. Maybe the other card for past influences is number 32 from the Oracle Messenger deck, and it is Protect the Wild and Green. And there's definitely a lot of green. I almost feel like this one is sort of like there's a Green Man card in this deck, and obviously a male face, the classic Green Man face. I always feel like this is sort of like the partner, the counter card to that, and she's there to protect. Protect the Wild and Green. It could be seen as like a very sort of like eco minded card and like protect nature and all the rest of it. But it could also be like protecting your own nature, your own wildness, your own innate self. So this might mean that you're growing and flourishing, but you were possibly like just a bit guarded. Maybe for good reason you're a bit guarded. But let's see what the book has to say. You are a guardian of the earth and all who share it. The trees, the animals, the birds, the insects, and inhabitants of the ocean blue. It's time to play an active role in protecting and preserving the wild by being aware of and limiting your impact upon the natural world. This world is not yours to possess. It is a gift given to you and your children. Tread gently, tread with care, and walk with love. Remember, your relationship with the world is a symbiotic one. So definitely leaning more towards the eco side of things, but they also talk about the symbiotic relationship. And the more you, at least in my experience, the more you connect with the natural world, going up to the forest or park or wherever, sometimes just sitting on my porch and watching the sunset, the more I am able to connect with myself. If I'm having a hard time connecting with myself, go out into nature. People talk about grounding and stepping barefoot on the ground, and it helps you connect with yourself as well as nature at the same time. So I'm guessing connecting to nature. It was if this is past influences, this is something you've been working on or something that you've incorporated into your regular day life, either that you've been trying to or that you have done. It was important to you in some way, shape, or form. Not that it isn't now, but maybe this is what led to whatever it is you're interested in, that you're learning more new stuff about and you're sharing with other people. That's a possibility. Maybe you found a new social group of people who have similar ideals, and so you're vibing and sharing all your insights on that stuff. So on the east side of the paper is the cards I have for current or future possible future influences. And we have from the Halloween Oracle deck we have Night Song, Hidden Talents, and it's a red cardinal. This one's always a little hard for me to read because I know what red cardinals are. I've never seen one in person. I don't know much about them. I don't live in an area that has them. I assume they have like a typical bird behavior, maybe like a blue jay or a starling or a robin. I'm assuming they have a similar. I doubt from anything I've heard, but I could be wrong. They don't have a very mischievous or tricky. It's like some little animals and some not so little animals do have a little bit of a mischievous or tricky energy. I don't think cardinals do. And this one is talking about night songs, so I'm assuming the cardinals have a nice sound to them. But as far as the imagery of the card goes, all the card is a very sort of gray, black and white, uh, monotone, not a whole lot of color. And then there's the bright red of the cardinal in the middle of the page that stands out against its background. I'm just noticing this for the first time with this card, there's sort of like a round halo in the background behind it. So it's very much centering this red cardinal as a thing to focus on. Let's see what the book has to say. Should this beautiful but shy bird sing to you by appearing during your divination, know that you must unwrap the presence of yourself. Look, some of the gifts within you remained unopened. The time has come to step into your true potential and claim all the possibilities of yourself. There is no more time to waste, no more excuses. So if we're going along with this whole sunprint thing and the idea of that you're maybe like learning new things, uh, new ideas or new skill sets, and you're possibly getting to know other people that are also into it, or you're sharing with other people about the stuff that you're learning or gaining new skills in, then this might be one of your gifts that you haven't unwrapped yet. It's something that you haven't tapped into before, and you have an innate ability to grasp it, or the muscle movements to get through it, or whatever you need, whatever is working. It's all flowing right. It's working well, especially like if you're new at things, of course there's going to be bumps in the road here and there, but for the most part, it's all flowing right. It's you have a quick learning to it, or it's really sparking motivation in you. So that's all good. And then under that is number 11, have courage. And it's that very yellow that sort of connects to the yellow in the print. This lion has that little like Celtic knotwork and almost sort of like a sun motif on its forehead. It's very much kind of giving me the whole Aslan vibe from Narnia. I feel like it's also kind of reminding me of the strength card from standard tarot card deck. It is number 14 of the Messenger Oracle. Oops, dropped. So the book says there are times when you feel small, afraid, alone in the world, but you are not alone. You are watched over and cherished by Gaia and Great Spirit. You know you have within you the strength to overcome all obstacles placed in your path, no matter how daunting or large they may seem. Have courage. Now's the time to trust yourself and have confidence that you will overcome all. So I'm guessing this would go along with learning new stuff or like integrating into a new group that sharing your skill set with is there's going to be things that you don't know, and that's the whole point of it. You're learning new stuff. You're learning new skills, and so maybe there's a little bit of that imposter syndrome, or maybe you don't know if you're going to have the skills to be able to go to the next level of learning, or you're just not sure of something. This line seems like it has a very calm face, and it's like it wanting to radiate that calmness to you. So the idea of just trusting in yourself and going with the flow, and you'll be fine. That you got this, whatever it might be. I don't see any huge, massive bumps in the road, other than your own anxieties, which sort of like it's kitty corner to the graveyard card of past influences, and the graveyard card is unnecessary fears. I feel like it's sort of like mimicking that energy, like the unnecessary fears is trying to reassure yourself not to have those unnecessary fears, whatever they might be, those doubts. And this one's just sort of a reminder, but it's a lot more like you're a lot more sure-footed in this reminder. It's more you you got that center energy instead of like a nervous center energy where you're like, I don't know. This one is more of like, yeah, I know I got. So hopefully that's where you're going in current or future energies, that you know that you got this, but just got to give yourself a little bit of a reminder every once in a while. Check in with yourself. All in all, I would say that's kind of where we're going. It's sort of an extension of the other print. But if you see other things in this that stand out to you, or you're getting a different vibe than I'm talking about here, please let me know what you're seeing. Or if there's something that resonates with you that I'm talking about here, let me know about that too. It's good to know that other people are seeing something in these prints. It's not just me talking to the wind, because there's a lot of imagery in these prints that I haven't touched really on. You could go a lot deeper into these if you really wanted to. And there's always going to be something that like will stand out more to other people that might mean something to them. Like probably not everybody's going to see that sideshow Bob face in this. So yeah, let me know if there's anything that you see. I would love to know what other people think of all this. Um, and what they're scrying from it or seeing in the imagery. Yeah, I think that's about it. So have a good full moon. I guess the next one will be up next week. Bye.